is Engineer Dr. Engineer Kenashigbe coming to give us the opening remarks.
Thank you very much, baby. So it's just Togbi. Togbi suffices. This combination of speaking to the people in the room as well as those online. So our colleagues from the PRC, from NETCO, the members of the chamber, my brothers, I can say brothers and sisters from the media because I am part of them as well. So you see, I work a lot of hats. I wear the hats with the engineers. I wear the hats with the media people and everybody else. So good morning to all of you. And it's a pleasure to be welcoming you to our 21st Knowledge Forum series. The theme for today is empowering consumers through clean energy transition. This forum promises to be insightful as we have key stakeholders within the energy and the telecommunication space who would be doing justice to the topic. Access to mobile telecommunication services, including mobile broadband, had helped unlock an array of new opportunities and services that are enhancing our livelihoods in the whole world, especially the underserved population, spurring economic growth and enabling the mobile industry to contribute to the SDGs. By the end of 2022, over 5.4 billion people globally subscribe to a mobile service, including 4.4 billion people who also use mobile internet. The mobile internet usage gap has narrowed markedly in the last 5 years, from 50% in 2017 to 41% on the average in 2022. But there still remains significant and demands that require urgent attention from all of us. The interesting thing is that in Ghana, the usage gap is over 70%. Though we have coverage generally, there's still an issue with the usage gap. And how are we going to deal with that? That's a conversation for another day. So in 2022, mobile technologies and services generated 5% of global GDP, a contribution that amounted to 5.5 trillion of economic value added, and supported 28 million jobs across the worldwide mobile ecosystem. And now, beyond all that we know, 5G is coming, and the promise of it is coming. But what is it for us in this country? We still have not sorted out 4G completely, and fiber is also coming up, and there's still a lot of work that we have to do. How are we in Africa and Ghana, for that matter, positioning ourselves to take advantage of the digital transformation that is here? How are we going to power all these technologies? And I mean, even us as customers, how are we going to contribute to that? In sub-Saharan Africa, mobile data consumption would nearly quadruple by 2027. And that would require a lot of power to be able to ensure that happens. How do we prepare for this growth? And how would we power off this evolution? So the theme for the forum, for today's forum, is coming from the 2023 World Consumer Rights Day theme. So we would amend the general theme slightly and say empowering communication consumers through clean energy transition. The theme provides us an opportunity for our customers and other stakeholders, as well as the public, to discuss the interventions of our members, from the MNOs, the tower companies, the infrastructure companies, and the OEMs, as well as the electronic money issuers. What have we instituted? What are we considering? And what other actions have we taken for this transition to happen to an environmentally friendly and renewable energy sources in our operations? We would also want to seek from our policy makers and our regulators, as well as other key partners, including the utility companies, what strategies and interventions they have in place, considering our Ghanaian context, to ensure that the transition would not slow down our pace of development. I keep on asking the question, this transition for us in the global south, is it really an imperative? Would it enable us also to be able to speed up our developmental growth? Is it another strategy to keep us where we are? Those are conversations I'm hoping that we would be able to deal with. But as a chamber, we are committed to reducing the impact of telecommunication operation on climate change and on the environment. Our peculiarities as a country, considering our electric supply, our energy mix, have resulted in telecommunication sector being one of the contributors to carbon emission. We have now a lot more thermal power from our grid. And in situations where we have to go off grid, how have we handled them in the past? And what changes should we make? We know that the use of electricity sourced from renewable presents the best opportunities to accelerate the world's energy transformation. But at what cost to us in the global south? Especially for us, considering the amount of sunshine that we have, what are we doing to ensure that this happens? However, we cannot run away from the implications of climate change disaster facing the world. So as an industry, we are committed to reducing the impact on climate change. The sector contributes to global emissions, particularly when you realize that there are over 54,000 base transmitter stations powered in some cases 24/7 a week by generators. You can just imagine the emissions that would come from this. In many low and middle income countries, including Ghana, access to mobile connectivity has been expedited by the expansion of mobile towers into areas either not connected to the national grid or connected by receiving unreliable electric power. In these locations, off-grid and bad-grid towers tend to rely on on-site diesel-powered generators for their operations, inflicting immeasurable costs on the environment and the balance sheets of our tower companies, and by extension, the MNOs. In 2014, the GSMA released a report, Green Power for Mobile, looking at how to mitigate the carbon footprint in the industry on climate. The emergence of tower companies have helped not only in infrastructure sharing, but they also, with their focus and specialization on providing power to the MNOs, have also invested heavily in clean and reliable power solutions. Again, if you look at the GSMA's 2022 report on renewable energy in the mobile towers, it reported that they found out that while the number of global towers increased from 4 million to 5 million between 2014 and 2022, the number that are either off-grid or bad-grid have dropped nearly by 40%. And the proportion of off-grid and bad-grid sites that run on renewable energy has nearly halved. They also estimate that carbon dioxide equivalent emissions associated with diesel power generators at tower sites have been reduced from 9.2 million to 7 million metric tons per annum. So as an industry, there's work that is being done. And I'm sure in today's gathering, we'll discuss what we are doing locally in Ghana. So our gathering today will provide opportunity to discuss some of these solutions and the support that we will require from our policymakers, our regulators, partners, but especially you, our customers, to drive this transition. We are delighted to have the PRC, NEDCO, and GRIDCO to share their insights on how we can drive the clean energy transition and put the customer at the center of that. We believe that their perspective and expertise would help us understand the challenges and opportunities that exist and the role that the telecommunication industry can play in supporting clean energy transitions. Our members, Airtel, Tigo, MTN, Vodafone, Huawei, Comsumers, ATC, Helios, and Ericsson would also share their innovations in promoting clean energy transition and the challenges they face. These companies, especially the tower companies, have been at the forefront of powering the telecommunication infrastructure to drive the digital innovation in Ghana. And we believe that their contribution will provide valuable insights on the role that telecommunication industry can play in promoting clean energy transition. We recognize that promoting clean energy transition is a multi-stakeholder effort that requires collaboration between industry, policymakers, and regulators. Therefore, we hope that this forum will provide an opportunity for stakeholders to share their experiences, insights, and concerns, and chart a way towards the promotion of clean energy transition whilst enabling the growth of our industry. We believe that the perspectives gained from this forum would help us identify the necessary policy and regulatory changes and support that industry needs to accelerate the adoption of these clean energy solutions. We are committed to playing our part to promote clean energy transition and ensuring that the industry remains sustainable and resilient. The interesting thing is that for us in Ghana, we have improved access to electricity from the national grid. That would ordinarily also serve as a disincentive for investments in renewable energy. But net metering may reverse this. We would want to explore how the PRC and Energy Commission is working with this policy of the Ministry of Energy to see to its implementation. Also, what are some of the other disincentives to investment in clean energy? What solutions can we offer to deal with that? That is what the Knowledge Forum is all about, finding solutions and innovative ways of dealing with Ghana's developmental challenges and charting a way forward. As I end, let me borrow a word from the Consumer International and ask this question. Putting people at the center of energy transition means ensuring people's basic needs of energy services, telecommunication services are met equitably, delivering decent jobs and worker protection, and promoting inclusive social and economic development. These are essential to delivering change at the pace and scale required to avoid catastrophic climatic change. But what is the role of the consumer in all of this? We are the largest group of economic stakeholders in these changes. How can we as consumers be protected and empowered in the clean energy transition? All of us are consumers. We are not passive bystanders. We have to be included in the energy transition. We have to play our roles. We all wield power as marketplace actors. We are all consumers of telecommunication services that are powered by energy sources, and as such, we have the potential to take action that accelerates or decelerates clean energy transition. So I hope that you would contribute during the question and answer sessions, those of us here and those of us online, so that together all of us would be able to chart the change we want to see. Once again, thank you very much, and you're all welcome to the 21st Knowledge Forum series. And I look forward to a fruitful and engaging discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, the CEO of the Ghana Chember of Telecommunications. A round of applause for him once again. Now, he spoke about contribution of the sector. I can tell you for a fact that in 2021, in terms of taxes, the industry contributed close to 4.3 billion. In terms of direct people who are employed by the sector, we're looking about close to 6,000 plus, directly and indirectly, about 1.2 million. So the industry is contributing, but also the industry wants to go a step further by supporting the clean energy transition. Now, I was going to ask a question. How many of you are vegetarians here, and how many of you worked here? Okay, one vegetarian. Well, it means that all of us are basically contributing to the, global warming. Because if you're eating your cow meat, your cows are releasing methane into the atmosphere, contributing to the heating of the ozone layer. And also, if you're driving or if you got into a car and you got here, you're also contributing. But we'll get there. One day we'll all have our Teslas and our Lucid Airs and cars that charge with electricity, and we should be fine. All right, so moving on to the next person, I have Mr. Raymond Foley from Comsumers, Ghana, to give us his remarks. A round of applause for him, please.
Thank you. Reps from the ministry, NEDCO, Energy Commission, the CEO of Ghana Chember of Telecom, colleagues from the chamber. media men here and our online guests. It is a privilege to contribute to this topic. I wouldn't bore you with statistics as the CEO of the Chamber has gone into that. And Brobe also tried to capture some statistics, and I'll go straight to the transitions that has happened in the industry over the years. You would all agree with me that the phones that we're using now has had a lot of transition from 2G through to 3G, 4G, and now we're singing the song of either we're ready or not ready for